Welcome, and look here, we're looking at the Australian market, the XJO, the ASX 200, the cash market, and as you can see, we're looking right back into 204 here and looking at this particular bear market coming through here. And I just really want to share some of my thoughts and see where we go from there, because the first thought we had when we were looking at the bear market through here, we were looking at this as a sort of a large ABC correction in three waves across the 5,000, being a real pivot within this particular pattern as such, like this here, and this moving back up through here. We were looking at this being 61.8 retracement level, basically where it is now, a bit higher, whatever, and also that move coming up here also being in three waves as well, being a B wave. So basically from up here, an A wave, a B wave over to here, and a C wave in 5 waves down to here to complete the correction, then move up from there. So in this particular smaller ABC correction for the larger B wave here, we were looking at in 3 waves, 5 waves, 3 waves for the B wave in the middle here. Just draw that out there, little 3 waves in here, and then we were looking for 5 waves in here. Now, the 5 waves in here, parts of it are easy to recognize, other parts are not. And what I mean by that is that if I just drill into here on a daily chart here, and clean some of this up as I go here. Now, this whole leg here, this particular pattern through here, was a little bit confusing really, but we could see that we had in this leg up here, we can see that we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we assuming this is the 3rd wave here, but it also could be the 1st wave up as well, because it just made all this here was unclear as well. We should have been looking at 5 waves down through here, like 1, 2, 3, perhaps 4 way over to here, and then the 5th wave down through to here, because that's in 5 waves here, to finish this larger A, B, and C over here, over to here. So it's always been a bit of a puzzle, this little one here. And if somehow we included it as even wave 1 up to here, then an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here, a 3rd wave, 4th wave, and then a 5th wave to this point here, because there's 5 waves in here. But then we could see that this particular point here is corrective as well, bullish corrective, because it's in 3 waves here. So we should make a high above here, and we've basically made that high there now. And this particular run up through here, we've been looking for a 5 wave structure up through here, and it's just continued to sort of power on through here. So one of my questions now is that, do we have a top in here, or do we see, something like this here where the market just continues to trip higher through here? And that's a real sort of high probability for a couple of reasons. Firstly, this market, when it decides to trend, if we come back here to this particular 2003 market here, we could see that it just kept building, and there's been no real 61.8 retracement level. So this is all wave 1 up here, but a very small wave 2 here, and it just continued to build higher. And I'm wondering if that's, I'm not saying that we're going to look at that huge bull market there, but just that particular type of price action that we should be, possibly considering in this run up through here. One of the reasons for this too is that if we look at one of our leading stocks, which is CBA, which always sort of leads us out of bear markets and so forth, and we put this on a 1 month chart here, we could see that this was the bear market coming through here in 2007 and 8, and then we can see the price action from here. Once we found support on the 50 here, just with using the trading levels, having a correction across the 50 and then finding support on it sets the target at 100, and that's always been my sort of view with this stock. And I just see the markets, nothing's too high and nothing's too low in this game, so I don't get fixed on that. But looking at the wave structure here, we can see that this is really a 5-wave sequence building to the upside here. So, and it's a very clean count as well. And being a leading stock, it means that we can have the 4th wave in here at 80. That's a real possibility as well. And the 38.2 retracement, if that's the case there, then that would pull back into this area here. Not to say that it will, 65 area here, the medium level, or the 4th wave of one lesser degree. But I don't think that's the case either, because when we look at it on a daily chart, for instance, finding this 3rd wave up through here, we can see that the 3rd wave's in the middle here, nice and long and strong. So we know that we're up at a top there somewhere. And we also know that we're at 80 as well, which is a major trading level, and we expect some profit taking going at number 8 there. But we can see that this price action down through here is in 3 waves here. It's little 3 waves here. So it's also corrective as well. Well, it is corrective it's corrective in the sense that it's not proven that, because what we could have here is down for wave 1, back for wave 2, then on a smaller degree, down for wave 1, back for wave 2, and down and further. I don't think that's the case, but we need to leave that sort of on the table, because it has come up and covered this little gap here, just made a special point to do that. So need to be a little bit mindful of that. But as it stands, this is corrective, and we'll see further upside moving in from there. So I'm just pointing out that CBA has got further to run to the upside. Okay, so the other stocks should fall into place. I know that Woolworths has still got higher ground to make as well, and there's some other stocks there also that have got higher ground to make as well. So when we come back and have a look at the XJO, for example, there's a real high probability that that we are going higher through this in this market. But in the short term on the daily here, we also know that we've been trying to find a corrective, trying to work out the 5-wave structure up through here, and you can see that it's not very clear. But what we can see here, coming up through here, is that it's quite a really nice trend, really, because all the closes are really quite, except for this one, are quite but that closed on lower volume than the previous bar, so that's fine. But all of these are closing. This is where it starts to get weak at this point here, because this range is small. This is even smaller here. We start to see the sellers coming in on this bar, sellers coming on this bar with higher volume here, and then we can see this bar here pushing up on lower volume, and then you can see all the tops here being sold off. And on Friday here we can see that we've had selling on higher volume here as well. So there is a correction through here. How large it's going to get is one of the things that we need to work out. So I'm going to go to the intraday chart now, and on the intraday chart, this is a 4-hour chart, and so the probability is this is a wave 1 up here. Okay, so that's where our bias lays, and that's because of the leading stocks, Woolies and CBA and so forth. So, but we can also see here too that on this 4-hour chart, we can see that we've got 3 waves to the downside here. So that makes it corrective. But to confirm to make it corrective, we need to see a price move above the 54.50 here, above this, whatever the high is in through here. 54, 55 in here, and preferably on the cash market as well. But if we got to move up through here, then that would actually confirm this is an A and a B and a C here, rather than down for 1, back for 2 of 1 degree, and then on a smaller degree having a 5-wave structure coming down through here, even further down. So that's a real critical point there. Once that's locked in there, then we know that high is going to be taken out from that point. It may not go straight up. It may get a little bit more complicated in terms of an A and a B and a C here, and then we get like an A and a B and a C here, and then we can get a C wave here as well. So basically a larger A, B and C, and you would kind of expect that coming from all of this trend not being corrected here, especially when we can see that the commercials have come in and started to sell, some large volumes in through here. They've been chipping away. The public have been basically moving in, seeing the higher trend, but the commercials have been, getting their high price for it. So it'll be, the public may win, and it's just a battle of, supply and demand as always. But in interpreting the wave count, this is what we're trying to sort of figure out through here. In another little sort of odd way as well is that if we do get this 3-wave price action through here, and we do see a move straight up through here, then we'll see a move up into here. And this is what would be looking at a classic trading levels pattern, or just a normal pattern across a level at 5.5 here. So the arrival, the reaction, finding support, the first high above the level, and then we'd see a larger correction at that point there, and then would move up from that point there. So all around here, we are seeing sellers. It can move higher. If it does move up through this point here, being a larger 5th wave, then it would be on lower volume, and we'll be watching that. If it was on lower volume, then we would definitely see a larger correction across here. So we're not really going to get a real solid trend until we've, until the current trend up has gone through all of its distribution, and then created the accumulation process during the correction, and then pushing up higher again. So look, I'm a little bit unsure about everything, but we've got longs in the market, and we've been putting a few shorts in there as well to sort of hedge those. So it's just one of those junctures where we just need to be a little bit cautious. That's all. So when we move in on here on the 1 hour chart here, we were discussing this last time. This is why the marks are on here, but we were looking for either an A and a B and a C down to here, and then a move up from here. Or if we get 5 waves down, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we would get 3 waves here, another 5 down. So in this case here, we're looking at pretty much at 3 waves down through here. And if we, as I mentioned, we get a break above here, then we could still be in corrective mode, and we can still be in corrective mode here as well. But it does appear to be slightly bullish to the upside in terms of we've got our A, B and C here, and then we've got up for 1, back for 2, and then starting to build here. But as I mentioned, we really need to see this top here taken out through here to confirm that this is an A and a B and a C. So any long trades would need to really have 54.50 as some sort of support there. But as I mentioned, we need to be a little bit careful as well, because if I can just clean Friday's thing up here. Sorry to take so much time with all this, but just got to have a look at what we know and what we don't know in this particular case. So as I just mentioned, this move down through here, even though it's corrective, can be an A wave. So first of all, it can be get here and we can go straight up from here. That's one thing. The other point is that this here is a little A, B, C to make the A wave. This is a thing to make the B wave here, and taking out here makes this corrective, and we know at some point that top will be taken out if that happens. But this move here can still be a B wave and still get 5 waves here to make the C wave, and then we move up from here. Okay, so it's not just because we make a high here, it's not guaranteed that we continue up, but what it does do is it does confirm that this here is corrective, and then at some point, either this point or this point, we'll be making a high across here. And if this C wave comes in, it should be about the same length and time as this one here as well. So that's as much as I know, and that kind of filters through to the other markets, which we'll have a look at now. The S&P 500, this is a weekly chart here, and from its bear market down through here, we're basically counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for primary 1 and primary 2, and then the next degree smaller is the intermediate wave. So we're basically, from this primary 2 here, we're still looking for the top of primary 3 here, okay? And then we'll have 4 and we'll have 5. I mean, this is just a real simple move from trading level 1 to trading level 2. So it will get there eventually. This is another reason for higher ground as well, with the ASX 200. So looking at this here from primary 1 and primary 2 here, we're looking for 5 waves up within primary wave 3, which will be in intermediate wave 1. So it does appear that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for intermediate 1 here, and then intermediate 2 here. Then we've got a little 5, which can be counted as 5 waves up for intermediate wave 3, but I'm not really happy with this intermediate wave 3 here because I'll leave it there for the time being, but the reason I'm not happy with it is because it's actually smaller than intermediate wave 1 here, okay? Not by much, but it is, and in Elliott terms, that's not correct, especially when we're talking about, you know, daily and weekly, these larger, you know, intermediate, minor, minute, minor, the larger, you can get overlapping wave structures in very small degrees of structure because, you know, the leverage and things that push things around, and, you know, quote stuffing from robots and all those sorts of things. But at this degree, it's a little bit different. But that is a bit smaller here, this wave 3. So at some stage, I think that we're going to have to extend wave 3, probably, you know, up here further. But for the time being, and being conservative and keeping the structure of the wave count intact, then we need to use this here as wave 3 here for the time being. So it does sort of throw the particular wave count out through here. But one of the main points is that we are heading a bit higher. So from intermediate wave 3 here and intermediate wave 4 here, what we've been doing is on the daily, we've been counting, well, next degree from intermediate wave is minor wave. So minor wave 1, 2, and then we're looking at this as the 1 minute degree here, that we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third wave here. We're looking at this as being wave 4 here, and we're looking for wave 5 here. So, you know, we are looking for this little top here, how far this goes. Now, this is the other thing that comes back to our local market as well, in terms that, you know, first of all, is this terminating here, this 5 little wave structures, or do we have a little 1 and 2 in there already, and we're going up for 3, 4, and 5 here to get up to intermediate wave, to minor wave 5 here. So this is what we don't understand in here as well. It just continues to trip on. But what I have done from minor wave 4 here on the 4-hour chart, as you know, we've been trying to count the 5 waves up here to get some sort of completion, but it just keeps tripping larger and larger. So last week we were counting this up through here, and it's pretty dodgy in terms of the wave count here, but we do get 5 waves in this last leg here in terms of 1, 2, 3, A, B, C for 4 overlapping here, however, and then wave 5 up through to here. And we're seeing the same volume price, the volume and price action, well, not same price action, but same sort of volume coming in on the same days as we're seeing in Australia as well on the ASX 200 on the daily chart. Same sort of thing here. For the month, we're seeing in both cases, if you took the volume over 1 month, we're seeing a very positive month here. So we're seeing more volume in February than we did in January. Obviously, Christmas and whatnot, but still a significant amount of volume has come in during February. So that's something we're seeing, selling volume coming in through here. But overall, we're seeing increased volume in the trend of February coming up through here. So yeah, now this particular trend here, look. As long as this market stays above this, basically this last little 5 waves up here, then say the 1830 here, then this market can continue to trip higher through here. A breaking of that, then we would see this ABC here for wave 2 come into play through here, or this can also be the top of minor wave 5 here coming up through here. That's why I don't know if it's minor wave 5 or the degree smaller of 1, 2, and moving up there further. I know that eventually she'll move up to the 2000 mark, but I'm just not quite sure if we're going to get this here instead of this one here. That's what I'm not sure about. So we just need a little bit of caution to see what comes out of the gates this week. And this is the little 5-wave structure that we're chasing last week in terms of the 1, the 2, the 3, the A, B, C for the 4th here, and then the 5th wave up through here. The thing is that if it's going to trip higher, then essentially it will look like this. So the little 5 waves here, it will just give a little A, B, C here, and then move up from here. So that's why I'm calling a break below the 1830 here would be a critical point for this market. So essentially staying up above this low here is what we're looking for this market to stay higher through here. So you'll just really need to trade the levels. If the 1865 here becomes the support, then it's gripped itself into subgroup 2 here, 65, 72 and the 80, and if it can find support in the 65 here, then it will climb higher through these guys here, and you'll be going up to the 1900 there. So the normal thing to do is that if you find support on the 1865 or the 65 rather, then you get a small position on the 65 and then look to add the rest of the position on the 82 here, and you can also add on the 1880, and the idea is to get up closer to the next level, the 1900 up here. Okay, well that's a bit of time spent on that, but I thought it was necessary just to sort of share a bit of view here. The Dow Jones is look, basically the Nasdaq is leading, the S&P 500 is sort of not far behind it, and then the Dow Jones is way behind it. So with the other markets, we can see that we've made highs above here already. This market's still dealing with the medium level here, 16,500. And look, it's lagging, so it should eventually push higher than this top of the third here, because the S&P 500 is higher than this here. So we've been working our way up through here. Support on top of group 1 here would be the 16,300. So support on there would get you to the 16,500 there. So lagging, and it will catch up and make a new high above here. The extension for this wave 5 here would be at 17,200 up through here, if that's going to be the case. Yeah, that's taken from wave 4 here, basically. The distance from here, adding 100, then another 60% would get us into the 17.2 there, which is about right. So the DAX is in a bit more like the Australian market, with its sort of sell-off as well in 3 waves here. So taking out of this top of this B wave here, that's why I've got the question mark at wave 2 here, but a move above this B wave here, or just a spike above it, makes this the A, the B and the C. I don't really have a problem with this and should push up higher. So look for support on 96.50 to move high, but you would need to keep the stop under this little wave here, because we're looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and going up through there. A breach of this here, and you'll have the same thing that I was mentioning on the Australian market, where you can have the A, B, C here, and then an A and a B and a C here, which would be basically, and then the C wave here. which is basically a flat correction. So it's flat because it's in 3 waves and it's flat. There's 3 types of corrections of that nature. But I won't go into that at the moment. And the same for the S&P, the FTSE, same thing here, as you can see through here as well. So as it stands, this is the ABC here for the low, but we could get this as an larger A, larger B, and a C wave across here. So, looking for support on top of Group 1 here, got 68 here. So Group 1 will be 68.30. Okay, that's it for the indices. Sorry to take so long, but just wanted to sort of, on Mondays, it's a good time to look at the bigger picture and put a few ideas on the table and kick them around and whatnot. Cheers.